Do you need to hire a lawyer? Unfortunately, at some point in your life, you may actually have to hire a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer, though as a former federal prisoner, defendant, I hired a lawyer. Made a lot of mistakes, had no idea how to vet a lawyer, didn't know the appropriate questions to ask, and as a result, I spent more money than I should have, and it also led to a longer federal prison sentence. So whether it's criminal, civil, bankruptcy, divorce, whatever it is, if you're going to hire a lawyer at some point in your life, you need to ask the right questions, and that's what I'm going to get into in this video today to help you to ask the right questions that you just don't know how to ask. So let's jump right in. The first question I suggest you ask a lawyer: is this more than just a job for you? Well, what does that mean? I can recall, I'll share a story with you. The first funeral I attended I was 11 years old, my grandfather's funeral. And I remember at the end of the funeral, the people who worked in the funeral home were very nice, but I saw them in this side room. They were kind of laughing and chuckling and just going on with their day and talking about what they were going to do that evening. And it sort of reminded me or hit me like this is just a job for them. We're devastated. This is the biggest day of our life, or for me it was. My grandfather, whom I loved, had passed away. And the people who work here are just going to go on with their day, go home and watch Jeopardy, Wheel of Fortune, and have dinner. It's just what they're supposed to do. It's just a job for them. So I want you to ask your lawyer, is this just a job for you? I don't need them to have tons of empathy and sympathy, but you want them to care. You want them to be passionate. As a criminal defendant, I was freaked out. I was scared to death. I didn't know what to do. If you're going through a divorce or a civil issue, you're suing or being sued, it's a very big deal. You want to know that they care and they're not so desensitized to the issue that it just feels like work for them. So ask them, is it just a job or why'd you get into the space? Number 2, referrals. Ask them if you could speak to the last few clients they've had. Doesn't that seem logical? At our company, if someone is thinking of retaining us, I'll ask the prospect, would you like to speak with several recent clients? Do your own vetting. It's in my interest to say why I think we're awesome and great. Get that objective feedback from others who have already retained us. Do the same thing with a lawyer. Okay, so it's very easy to go into a meeting with a lawyer. You could have a high pain point. You're looking to hear something. You could be vulnerable. You're looking for the buzzwords that are going to make you feel better. In the criminal defense space, it could include, Justin, if you give me X, I can keep you out of jail. Let me tell you what I did when I heard that. I broke out the checkbook, people. A lawyer said to me, Justin, I think we could beat this case. Oh, really? You think we can beat it? How much? Oh, let me write you a check. That sounds like a good idea. Then that didn't work out. Then I'd go to another lawyer who said, well, I probably could have done this differently. If you do this, I think we can keep you out of jail. You can keep me out of prison. That's fantastic. How much? I'm not saying all lawyers are like that. Most lawyers are fantastic and great, but I didn't know how to vet a lawyer. They might have been telling me what they thought was the truth. I know they told me in some cases what I wanted to hear. Happy to write the check and scratch the check. Be different for me. It's why I'm filming this video. Speak to their clients. It is integral. Well, question number 3. Does your lawyer, the potential lawyer that you're going to interview, do they charge an hourly or an inclusive rate? So I can tell you that I always prefer an inclusive rate if possible. An inclusive rate is you go in, you hire a lawyer, and you pay for you know exactly what it's going to cost when you write a check. So as a criminal defendant, for example, I have clients that may give $25,000, $50,000, $100,000 to a law firm, but it covers everything, the balance of their case from start to finish. A number of civil lawyers will do absolutely, the same thing. It's nice to fix and lock the fee. It's nice to know what it's going to cost. The downside at times to an inclusive fee is you may not feel as if they're doing all of the work because they've already been paid. You can try to push for payment plans over a period of months. Hourly could compel a lawyer to spend more time on the case. Maybe it requires the attention, but also there's an hourly wage attached to it. I don't really drink, but I remember when I was a defendant and I had an hourly agreement with a lawyer, sometimes when the bills would come, I should have props here for this video, people. I should have props. I would before I could even open up the bill, I would have to drink like half of a bottle of wine because I think, oh, good God, how big is this bill going to be? This is going to be absolutely massive. So before you hire a lawyer, find out if there's an inclusive rate from start to finish. What will that be? And can you do payment plans? Or if it's an hourly rate, what is that rate? And are there junior associates, paralegals in the firm that can do much of the work at a lower rate? Get clarity on that. I'd hate to have you hire someone, You get the first bill that says, $22,000, and you're like, good God, every time I speak with my lawyer, it's a $1,500 call because two of them are on there at $7.50 an hour. Inclusive or hourly, it's a really big deal. If I were you, I would find out how well your lawyers write. How persuasive are they? You would expect a lawyer to tell you that they're good writers and they're successful in mitigating or settling whatever it may be. And to do that, they're probably good writers. We'll find out. Ask them to share some of their recent motions or filings with you. In a criminal case, for example, if the government is asking that a defendant get 51 months in prison and the defense is asking for 33 months, where did the judge settle? Did the judge settle on a lower number in part because of how persuasive the defense attorney was? So again, this isn't just for defendants, it's for any potential person that's going to hire a lawyer. Find out how well they write, how persuasive they are, and how successful they've been in some of the work that they've produced. Seems pretty logical, but it's questions that people don't know how to ask because you may have never hired a lawyer and you're going on what you've read on a review that may be written by someone in their office. It could be an anonymous review. It could be a made-up first and last name, if not verified, and they're very easily selling the pain points, exactly what you want to hear, the buzzwords in order to get retained. Don't be exploited. Don't be vulnerable. Do your homework, do your due diligence. It's why I'm filming this video, so you don't have to go down this hole that I went down. I spent a ton of money, and I'm too tired of getting calls from people that have regretted how poorly they work with their lawyer. And it's like they didn't know what the hell to ask him or her, when they hired him. Another question, number 5. Who else will you be working with within the firm? There are some good lawyers out there. The question is, are they going to be doing the work in your case? Are they the marketer? Are they the front guy? Or are they the one closing the business? What happens after you've been brought in? Are you going to be outsourced to someone else in the firm? It happens a lot. I've seen it in civil, bankruptcy, divorce, etc. Unfortunately, in my career as a federal prison consultant, some of my clients go through a divorce or bankruptcy or civil issues with the FTC or SEC. I've seen everything, and I've worked with hundreds of lawyers. And every now and again, a defendant will say, well, I hired this lawyer, and I saw him here and there, and he's big time, but I never work with him. He never responds to me. I'm outsourced to somebody else. Make sure you know exactly with whom you're going to be working. Get it in writing. Look at their credentials. Then, hearkening back to the second question, can you speak to some of their clients? Speak to some of the people that they have worked with. You got to vet. You're scratching a big check for lawyers, potentially over a sustained period of time. Recently, I settled some defamation cases of competitors who, I don't even call them competitors, but people who wrote anonymous reports about me. 2 years I was in litigation. I worked with a number of people within this law firm, but before retaining them, I knew exactly what role, what their rate would be, and when I would communicate with the lead partner at the appropriate time. It was very clear. My expectations were managed. A pretty obvious question could probably have been number 1. Have they had any issues with the state bar? Of course, it's very easy to go to the state bar website, type in their name, find out if they've had any civil issues. Now, I'm not saying someone should be automatically crossed out if they've had, but give them a chance to explain it, to articulate what may have happened. But you need to know if they've had any sanctions or complaints against them, trust fund issues, rebukes from judges, and things like that. So that seems like a pretty basic question. I would find out if they send weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly status reports. Let me tell you why that's relevant. It's frustrating to hire a law firm and then you get a bill a month later that says $9,000. And maybe you haven't spoken to him that whole month. And you're like, why did I just get a bill for $9,000? I spoke to them one time, 2 times, not at all. I got a few emails, and you're like, why did I just get a bill for $9,000? This is absolutely absurd. A status report, which is something I'm a proponent of, tells you what they've done every week. So maybe they're doing research. Maybe they're writing motions. Maybe they're finding expert witnesses or testimony. Whatever it may be, I suggest getting a weekly status report, because when you get a bill at the end of the month, you don't feel like it's made up or you don't know what the hell they did. So I actually demanded that, even if I had to pay for it. I demanded that of a firm that I retained. Said every Friday, send me a note. Let me know what you've done this week. Some weeks there was nothing there, which in a way was great, because I'm like, all right, I'm not going to get billed this week. Nothing happened. Find out how often they're going to send you some status reports. Okay, no one is perfect. We all make mistakes in life. And that could include a lawyer that you've retained. And I think it would be a good question to find out some bad experiences they've had with a client. If they claim to be perfect and every relationship with a client has gone successfully, then you should not. Then you should run out of that law office. That's illogical. This is life. There can be problems. Find out. Ask them. Walk me through a bad scenario you've had with a client. What would you have done differently? What steps have you put in place to ensure this doesn't happen again? So knowing that no one is perfect, ask them to speak openly and honestly about some bad choices or experiences with clients so you can benefit from that. Number 9, do they take payment plans? In our company, we do payment plans over a period of time. Why? Well, we're not doing all of the work at once, so why should we get paid at once? That would seem like illogical. And I'm talking about longer scopes of work that could stretch out weeks, months, and years. We're not doing all the work today. Why pay us at once? Well, same thing with lawyers. If you hire bankruptcy, civil, criminal, whatever type of lawyer it may be, and they say it's $50,000, $100,000, $200,000, you don't need to scratch them a check at once. They haven't done any of the work. So I encourage you to ask for a payment plan, have it within that scope of work or retainer agreement. Make sure it's clearly defined. And I also, as I jump to question number 10, you want to find out if your retainer always has to be kept at a certain level. I'll share a story with you. So I had a client who hired a criminal defense attorney. He had already hired me after he hired the lawyer. And the lawyer's fee was $100,000 up front, and the client paid him $100,000 up front against an hourly rate of like $750 an hour. I would have done things differently. Client didn't really ask any of these questions again. He hired the lawyer before speaking with me. One thing my client didn't read in the retainer agreement, in part because he was so happy with the potential idea this lawyer was going to keep him out of prison, was that the retainer account the trust account always had to have a $100,000 balance. So the first month he gives him $100,000, goes through $60,000 in legal fees, it's down to $40,000. My client initially thought, great, I don't have to send any money in this month. I gave him $100,000. No, my client got a bill that said, per the retainer agreement, you need to send in $60,000 because there always must be $100,000. Lawyers do that to ensure they're going to get paid at the conclusion of a case. So it's important that and I don't have a problem with it. I think it's fine. They do the work, they should get paid. But you need to know that going in. Does there always have to be a certain level? It's a key question you have to ask any lawyer that you may hire. Question number 11. I guess there's going to be 12 questions here. Question 11. Do the reviews they have online, are they authentic? Do they have a first and last name? I can tell you over the years, 30 lawyers or so have reached out to me and said, Justin, when you go to Avo, it's called, Avo or Martindale, one of these lawyer review sites, would you go there and leave a review? And I'm like, well, I'm not a client of yours. I can leave a review. I think you're a good client, a good lawyer, and I worked alongside you, but I wasn't a client. That would be just ingenuous. That would be like fraudulent. Ethically, I can't do that. You weren't my lawyer. They're like, well, it happens all the time. And it got me thinking, dude, how many of these reviews are from just his friends and family? Make sure the reviews are authentic. Make sure there's a first and last name. In our company, for example, we have a Facebook page. I only post reviews that have a first and last name. You can message them directly from our Facebook page. That's the way that it should be. And if they don't have a first or last name attached to it, find out why. So it kind of comes back to the second question, speaking to some of their clients, make sure the reviews are authentic and real. Some of these rating sites where any lawyer has a 5-star review, Joe M, Mary Q. It's like, well, who are these people? It could be their buddy. Who the hell knows? I highly encourage you to make sure the reviews are authentic and verified. And question number 12, as we wrap up this video, 2 days before Father's Day. And of course, I wish a happy Father's Day to all of you. Question number 12, can your lawyer be reasoned with? Are they so dogmatic or in some cases arrogant that they're not willing to take the advice or opinions of others? I'll give you an example. In our work, we've spoken with federal judges. I've spoken with them on stage. My colleagues, Michael Santos and Sean Hopwood, have trained judges. We've interviewed federal judges on our YouTube channel. And Judge Boo and Judge Bennett were judges we interviewed. And in some of these videos, the judges talk about how a defendant can prepare for sentencing. They talk about the importance of a personal narrative, writing a compelling letter to a judge. Great. Believe it or not, despite what judges tell us, hundreds of judges over a period of years, knowing the importance of a defendant taking action through their own efforts, there are lawyers that have said, that judge don't know nothing. It's like, really? He was appointed by a president. He sentenced more than 4,000 defendants. He's telling us he wants to hear directly from the defendant. and that lawyers are paid to say good things about their clients and they heavily discount what lawyers say at sentencing. Don't you think it makes sense? No, I'm the lawyer. This is what I do. You hired me. I went to law school. I've been doing this for 30 years. Just because someone's been doing it for 30 years doesn't mean it's right. For 3.5 years before I went to prison, I sat on the couch eating, bonbons and donuts and cookies and chewing tobacco because I was depressed. Just because I did it every day, really with a lot of discipline and commitment. It took a lot of discipline and commitment to eat that many bonbons, cookies, and donuts. Just because I did it every day doesn't mean it's right. It doesn't mean it's right. I hear that all the time. I've done it this way for 20 years. Oh, okay. I have a hook in my golf swing. I've done it for 10, 12 years. Doesn't mean the hook is right because I do it every day. That's absurd. Can they be reasoned with? Are they open to other ideas? Are they open to the advice or opinions of others? Or does it always have to be their way or the highway? Or if you prevent some compelling evidence that they may be wrong, are they even open to it? Are they open to the idea of it? And these 12 questions are questions that I did not ask before I hired a lawyer. Most of you I'll never meet, we'll never communicate, but I empathize with you if you have to hire a lawyer. I empathize with you if you have to scratch a check to a lawyer. I empathize with you that you may get a bill in the mail from a lawyer that may require you to want to drink a bottle of wine before you open it. I empathize that a lawyer may put pressure on you to pay. And I can go on for days about the empathies I feel for anyone that may have to hire any type of lawyer. So I filmed this video for you. So you don't do what I did, which is hear something from a lawyer and say, wow, that's awesome. I'm ready to pay you. That's even better. I'm ready to pay you more. Be better than me. That's how I'm going to wrap up this video. Again, to all of you, I wish you a wonderful Father's Day. Any of you have questions, feel free to reach out. If you'd like a free copy of my book, Lessons from Prison, go to whitecollaradvice.com. It's free. Don't give me your money. Buy it. But if you don't buy it. But if you download it, read it. Cannot believe how many people buy a book or a product that is great and may work, but they don't take the time to go through it. And in this book, I talk a little bit about my experience with lawyers, and I covered some of the things in this subject today. Thank you very much for watching. If you have to hire a lawyer at some point in your life, ask these 12 questions. And if I've missed some, leave a comment. Send me a message. I want to become better. Maybe you can help me. I have a lot of clients that could use this tutelage and advice. Feel free to leave a comment. Send me a message. I'm sure I missed something. This isn't, there's only so much I can cover here in like 13 minutes, okay? Look forward to connecting with you again soon. Bye-bye.